Well, hello, everybody. It is Gwen, Miss G, Finley. I am here. I'm so excited to be back. It seems like it's been forever. And yes, I am back here on a Monday night. You know how I like to say it, Monday, Monday. All right, so tonight I'm excited that we are getting ready to have a great night. We have a wonderful guest. We have so much to talk about, and I am ready. I hope you are as well. So, what I'd like for you to do right now, if you don't mind, is just to take a moment to like, tag, and share this broadcast with someone else. Share it on your page if you like. If you don't like sharing it on your page, inbox somebody and let them know that Miss G's Ladies Lounge is live. We are here. I'm excited tonight because I have an amazing guest. And we're going to be speaking today on a topic entitled Women in Business Breaking Barriers Despite the Odds. So I want you to make sure that you stay tuned so that you can get every nugget, every word, and you don't miss a thing. Let me tell you a little bit about my guest before we get started. And also, I like to invite you, if you like to be a guest on my show, you can always just go to my website, which is gwenfinley.org, gwenfinley.org. And you can send me a message. I'll gladly, get back with you. We will talk about what you offer and what your business is, and we can talk about you being on the show. But tonight, once again, it is Monday. It is September the 11th. Before I go there, it's September the 11th. We want to also offer, our prayers to those who are remembering this day. Maybe some people are having emotional moments because of losses or even just the memory of what they may have gone through. I tell people all the time, I actually worked right next door to the World Trade Center in the post office. And I used to go through the World Trade Center when I got off the train to walk into the next building. So I'm thankful that it was not a time that I was in that area, but I'm praying for all of those who are going through any of those memories, any of those times. I just pray that you would find comfort knowing that God blessed you to be here on today. All right, so at this time, I'm going to talk about my guest tonight, the Sharvette Mitchell. All right, Sharvette Mitchell of Mitchell Productions is a professional consulting and marketing firm. Mitchell Productions is a professional consulting and marketing firm led by Sharvette Mitchell, supporting entrepreneurs, small businesses, as well as government clients and corporate clients. Sharvette Mitchell is more than a business leader and marketing consultant. She's the platform builder. Her vision, ingenuity, and extensive 25-year background in corporate America at Capital One Bank, coupled with a Bachelor of Science in Marketing from Virginia Commonwealth University, have crystallized her reputation as a foremost authority in the marketing landscape. Charvette's unique approach, encapsulated in her trademarked framework, the platform builder, has become a beacon for small businesses seeking to amplify their brand. And by honoring their visibility, marketing, and branding strategies, she has enabled numerous businesses to generate more revenue, achieve growth, and establish increased brand recognition. Her one on one consulting, innovative group coaching programs, engaging speaking, training, and live conferences, summits have been applauded for their effectiveness and creativity. As a marketing consultant, her insight into consumer behavior and online market trends has made her an indispensable asset for growing businesses aiming to elevate their brand presence in the competitive market. I'm going to just read one last thing about Sharvette. She's also a prolific author. She is the prolific author. Sharvette is behind 5 impactful book collaborations, including Propel, Pour, Pursue, Pearls, and Prepare for Purpose. These works further illustrate her passion for guiding others to pursue their dreams and document their transformational stories or intellectual property. Now, that's just a snippet of who this great woman is. So, I want you to just take a moment and help me welcome my guest on tonight. We are excited to have her joining me, coming to the stage once again, Sharvette Mitchell. Woo!
Hello. Thank you for having me. Gwen, excited to be back in MsG's lounge with your amazing audience.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I tell you, it's such a pleasure. We have some people popping in, and I know they're excited also to hear you. We've got Diane, we've got my cousin over there, Cookie. Hey, meeting us all the way from New York. But listen, and we've got some others that have joined us also. But if you let us know that you're here, put your name in the chat, whatever. Let us know that you're here, that you're live, that you're popping. All right. So listen, I am excited about a lot of things. And when I thought about restarting, I said to myself, because I had been, on a little hiatus, but I said to myself, how do I want to come back? And of course, my mind immediately went to Sharvette. And when I thought about it, I was like, when I started my first show on Blog Talk Radio, my podcast,
Yes.
Sharvette was my first guest. And that was in 2016. When I started my first live online show, Sharvette was my guest. Not only was she my guest, but she showed me how to do everything I needed to do to get here. And then I think I went out, I came back, and I came back with the Visionary Roundtable. Sharvette was on the roundtable. And
Yes.
here you are again today. And it's probably been one or two more times, but I'm excited because you are such a doll, and you're always willing to be here to support me, and I appreciate it. I love chatting with you and all the wisdom and nuggets that you have to share with everyone. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh, thank you. It's my honor to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. So we're going to get into this discussion on tonight. There's so many things that we could actually talk about, but right now is such a phenomenal time where women are working hard to come from the back and to the forefront. And if you look at so many different cultures, religions, everything, there's always been some kind of, you know, uh, problem with women coming to the forefront. There's always been some kind of hindrance with women coming to the forefront. And it's not a stranger to business as well. So let's talk about how women have began to come out into the forefront. And I know it didn't just start like yesterday. It started
Right.
slowly, but it is really kind of booming right now. So let's talk about that.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
give me
Women.
initial statement about it.
Yeah. So certainly the statistics are there. The studies show that women are one of the fastest growing population to start businesses. We are,
Right.
we are there in record numbers. Certainly with COVID,
Mhm.
that was also a highlighted time period where a lot of people decided to get into entrepreneurships and starting small businesses. But women grew like super fast, leading the way. But what's also interesting is that if we look at funding opportunities, there's disparities. You've got all this growth with women starting businesses, but then if you look at women-owned startups, only 2% of women-owned startups generate $1 million in revenue versus men generate 3.5 times
Time.
more. Yeah, 3.5
Mhm.
times more likely to generate a million. And that's, I know an article you and I were looking at in Forbes that cited that. And so I think
Mhm.
that's where, that's the interesting space that we're in. So certainly women. And then if we broke that down and looked at probably from an African American standpoint or woman of color,
Absolutely.
then numbers are much, much more different. And so we're out there, we're starting, we're going, and then
Mhm.
there are some other things that we're dealing with.
So when you think about that, and all of the odds that are against us, why do you think this is such a time that women have decided, hey, I'm not going to stay in the back? They say, I can bring home the bacon, I can fry it up in the pan. Why do you
Yeah.
think the women have now got in their minds that they don't have to just bring home the bacon and fry it up in the pan? They can actually go out there and just do business just as the men do, and build their own companies and their own wealth.
Yeah, I think there's a couple reasons. So we also know that women working in the workforce, there's a disparity in what we get paid versus what men get paid. So
Mhm.
for some women, it's just trying to fill that gap. Like, let me start this business on the side. Let me start this consulting business. Let me start this jewelry business. Let me just start this thing on the side because I'm just trying to get my income to match where everybody else is. I think that's one factor. I think the other factor also is that we're creative, just our nature. Most,
Mhm.
we're talking a little bit in generality. I know some people might shoot us
Right.
down for that, but women, a lot of us are creative. We are able to multitask. And people found that out definitely through the pandemic and started kind of questioning where their passion was. What do I really want to be doing with my life? And I think that contributed to definitely people and women in particular stepping out saying, if not now, like when? When am I going to
Mhm.
try this business idea or this creative idea or this nonprofit idea or this ministry idea? If I don't do it now, when am I going to do it? So I think that contributed to things.
Do you think that fear has played a factor in us taking so long to actually move out onto our own, or do you think that it was just complacency?
Hmm. I think fear more than complacency. Fear is a tricky thing. Some of the things that I think women fear, men don't necessarily verbally say it. So if I say to a client, I want you to do video, I want you to jump on
Hmm.
live stream, I want you to do reels
Hmm.
and all these things, there are fears of what I sound like, what I look like, what, different fears that come up that maybe you don't necessarily hear men expressing. So there are some fears in that aspect of the visibility part that is tied to starting and growing a business. Like you have to be out there, you have to get out there. And so I definitely think that there are visibility fears that some women feel.
So we're talking about women in business breaking barriers despite the odds. Let's talk about the odds.
Hmm.
You talked about some of them already. Um, Funding, just gender. But there are some other odds that women often, you know, or people just often don't think about, that women, are afraid to sometimes step out because of. What are some of the odds that you feel, or you have seen working with women that have kept them back from stepping out?
So definitely this kind of work life balance or whatever this balancing thing. So a lot of times women are still, responsible for the major things that happen in the household. Now, we recognize that there are viewers and there are listeners here who, the husband may cook or the husband may be clean or what have you, but a lot of male female relationships, the woman is still really still thinking about what happens with the children, what are we eating for dinner, those things that are an addition to their plate of a regular full-time job, and then now adding a business. And so I think that that is one space, that some people may just feel like, how am I going to juggle all of this when I'm still really kind of largely responsible for at least thinking about what goes on with the household. So that's one space.
Now that made me think about, and we're going to talk later about your upcoming event. But I remember looking at and I hope I'm not mistaken, but I remember looking at a live that your keynote speaker, um, which is Sharice Jones, Sassy
Yes.
Jones, and I believe she has twins.
Yes,
Does
she
she
has
have the
twin
twins?
boys. Yes, twin boys.
And I
Yeah.
remember seeing her talking about that, trying to juggle business and doing, the kids and doing the family and taking care of
Yeah.
everything. And so we'll talk about her later, but that's definitely something to think about, how a lot of people are trying to juggle the home life. They're trying to juggle, um, you know, dealing with even other family members that is not even in their home, or
Yeah.
just a concern about other people rather than themselves, because women often put themselves on the back burner and they're
Yeah.
more concerned about other people. I met a man the other day. He came in the doctor's office, and I asked him a question, and he says, "I don't know, I just do what my wife tells me." And I was like, and so the more we talked to him, when the doctor came in and she said something to him, and he said, "I'm a stay-at-home dad. I don't know, whatever my wife tells
Mm.
me." And I was like,
Okay.
wow, he flipped the script,
Yeah.
and you don't see that often. And not saying that it's something that every household should do,
Yeah.
because definitely, partnership in marriages and homes is necessary. And I'm not
Yeah.
saying they don't have a partnership, but I think he was just making light of the situation. But he was doing his part, but it was
Yeah.
just reverse roles. So, I think that's really important to think about. Women often take on a lot, and we consider ourselves, like having to be there for everybody and be there and do
Yeah.
things for everyone. And often we get lost in the mix. We get lost in the
Yeah.
mix and we don't really do what we want to do for ourselves or what's necessary for ourselves. So I think that's, something great to think about. I think the other thing I like to ask about is, how do you balance getting that? Uh, I want to say education or the
Mhm.
knowledge on how to, get your business going and get out there. How do you balance that?
Yeah. So there's two things you have. You have money or you have time. So, for
Mm,
the person that says, "Well, I don't have money, I'm starting the business because I don't have money," well, then guess what? You have time. And so you have
mhm,
time to explore YouTube like a university.
mhm,
You have time to
mhm,
Google. You have time to go through Facebook communities and look, where you can get support and all of that. And then you also have time not to just consume information, but then you also have time to take action on the information. Because if you just sit in a place of consumption, then nothing will happen. So for those that are starting out, there may be people that are like squarely in that space. They basically have time to invest in figuring out the skill sets, buying smaller courses, things of that nature. But then at some point, you want to elevate because then now you have more money, and then that's when you want to look at buying mentorship, buying coaching, buying getting the answer to something that you don't have to take 5 years to figure out. You might be able to buy
Mhm.
access to that, and so that's how you want to think about it, and that's how I think about it anyway.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah,
Yeah, a lot of people is out here struggling, and the way has already been made.
yeah.
You just have to network and get that information. I'm looking at our the article that we talked about earlier with Forbes
Yeah.
magazine. One of the other barriers was lack of support. So let's
Mm-hmm.
talk about lack of support, because a lot of times, and I just heard someone say this to me Saturday, it's so hard to get the support once you step out there and you go for, you like all excited and you spent all of this money to get your business started and to, create whatever it is that you're creating. And then you're looking for support. And very often, I believe, well, I'm not going to answer the question. I'm going to let you answer the question.
Let's
Then I'll come back with
just gene down.
what
So,
I'm going to say.
so
But
what's
tell us.
interesting? Yeah, I'm sorry. So what's interesting about that quote unquote lack of support? So referencing this Forbes article, when you see men, the good old boys club,
Right,
we hear the good
right.
old boys club,
Hmm.
that is their thought of support, that network. Like I know this accountant over here, or I know this plumber over here, or I know, and so there's this quote unquote good old boys club where it's networking, it's referencing, it's checking and see who do you know that does this, who do you know that
Hmm.
does that. A lot of times when women say lack of support, they're looking at immediately like my friends and my family didn't buy whatever I was selling, and so
Right,
some people, as my mentor, shout out to Lamar Tyler, says, they playing chess, we playing checkers. So it's even different conversations
right.
when you talk about what lack of support means, or what support
Right.
means. And so in
Mhm.
one area, it's no, let's figure out who I know that does this and send business that way. But then sometimes some feel like I put things out and I don't see the support from the audience or from the people
Mhm.
I feel like I should be
Should
seeing the
be.
support. And so there is what I would say is there is a potentially an issue with the networking. There may at a higher level, kind of that, good old boys club. But I think foundationally, we often look at people that are maybe immediately around us for support when it could be somebody in Wichita, Kansas that wants what you have to buy, or somebody in Dallas that wants what you have to buy. And so social
Mhm.
one thing that has helped with social media and the internet is that it has created a level playing field, is that you don't have to just market and sell to people that are immediately around you. But how can you think more broadly and not just look at either friends and family who you feel like should be buying what you
Mhm.
have, what you have to offer, that it's really more, more broadly than that. So typically, if kind of to circle back to that question, like when you hear men think and talk about a network, they're not talking about their friends buying their things. They're thinking about who do I know that does XYZ and I want to continue to send them business. And I don't know if we're thinking of it the same way.
Absolutely. And that's what I was getting ready to say. A lot of times we're looking for specific people to be there and to, but that's not always your audience. That's not always who you need to look to for the support. And sometimes you don't need to look for the support. You just need to do what you need to do and let the
Well, there's
support
that.
come.
Yeah.
Right?
And do you say, I'm even kind of like that word, even support feels funny. Like, does
Right.
Walmart say, come support our business? Like, Walmart doesn't
Right.
even use, does Target say, come support? They say, come buy my product. So
Right.
even that, even word
Terminology.
thought
Yeah.
process, we have to deal with that.
Absolutely. I always like to bring up this analogy. When you have, like you said, people who are like-minded, that maybe you can network with. And I remember, my ex-husband, and he was a businessman, and he was really a businessman. And one of the things that he told me about that he said they used to do was they all of them that had the same business, they were in a network, but they
Mm,
always made sure each other was good. So
yeah,
what they decided to do was they would shut down. Everybody was shut down on a Monday night except for one of those businesses. And all
oh,
of them would go and support and take all of their supporters or networkers or
mhm.
what do you call it, patrons,
Right.
and they would invite them to that other location so that everybody could stay in the black and not go into the red. It was like, the Black Friday on Black
Uh-huh.
Monday. At least one, if you had, six businesses, at least once every 6 weeks, somebody was getting their boost to help them to grow. And I thought
Right.
that that was such a great idea. It can't happen all the time, but I thought it was just a great idea. Every once in a while, sometimes you have to think about the others that you are working along with, or that that's in business, and how you can, network with each other to bring that support,
Yeah.
or that, just help everybody to win, because that's
Yeah.
what we want to see. We want to see each other win, right?
Yeah.
There used to be competition, but no, we want to see each other win, right?
Yes. The pie is big enough for all of us to have some slices.
Exactly, exactly. Cookie said that word support bugs me.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yes. Hello, Ayana. Thank you for joining us. And she said, I like the words come and buy.
And
That's
then,
right.
yeah.
That's right. So, how do you feel that the pandemic has made any impact on the women that are now moving into these spaces? Do you think that it helped them? Do you think that it hindered them in any ways?
I think that there was definitely help. And so there was an urgency that some people, got that we are not here forever. That was one thing out of the pandemic. Do I want, and how do I want to use my time? And so I think there was one element of urgency that some people experienced. That's why there was the Great Resignation, in corporate America
Mhm.
that they coined, that people
Right.
left jobs and transitioned because
Mhm.
there was an urgency around people either operating in what they want to do, or their gift, or their calling, or their passion, or however you're framing it. And so, with people being home during that time, there were a lot of people shopping. And so, for certain businesses, they saw no lack, they saw a boom. But
Right.
then now we're back to quote unquote our new normal. And
Mhm.
so just sustaining that is where, where most people are. But I think that in general, if there was a business that you had that had product that people were interested in, you probably saw a lift during the pandemic. So
And it also gave people time, like you said, to
mhm, mhm.
scroll YouTube and get some learning in. And, you saw people coming out. I'm a certified coach now, and I'm a certified,
Yeah,
a lot of people took advantage of that time wisely.
yeah.
I was working through the whole pandemic,
Yeah,
so
yeah, because healthcare, you're, certainly health
healthcare. I was
and
literally working like day and night. I heard a
yeah,
lot of people talk about they didn't have no work, and honey, it was not like that for me. I was out in those streets. I was
yeah,
doing work day and night, and so it's different for everybody. But
yes,
a lot of individuals that I have come in contact with, I know that they spent a lot of that time to develop their businesses or
yeah,
develop their ministry or whatever it is. And
yeah,
I think that that was a great opportunity for a lot of people. So let's talk about the breaking the ceiling. Let's talk about
Mhm.
what that really means. Women in business, breaking these barriers and breaking these ceilings, and what does that really mean for us?
Yeah, well, I think it means a lot of different things, depending on which barrier that we want to talk about. So if we start off talking about really kind of this traditional gender role, the woman is seen as the one taking care of the household, and what are the conversations and boundaries that you have around that, and also boundaries around your business. So I can speak to the business side of making sure that there are boundaries that you have of when you're going to operate, how you're going to operate. Your business. I'll let the marriage experts talk more
Mhm.
about how
Yeah.
what that looks like in a marriage. But then also the boundary around support, and how to kind of overcome that barrier of support is
Mhm.
like getting out there and intentionally networking, going to events. That's why I host live events like every year. Going to events where you can be fueled by other women, creating a network, creating partnerships, learning,
Mhm.
learning skills, learning tools, and then also that kind of networking, looking at what is available in your local city. So the Small Business Administration has partners, if you will, or sponsored by organizations in every city. And so looking to see where can I plug in to a network that's partnering with the Small Business Administration. And there's a lot of times either free classes or some type of consulting that they can help you with, or events. And so those would be some of the things that we could start doing as far as overcoming some of the barriers. And then they also found out about funding opportunities and loan opportunities
Mhm.
as well.
Right. Yeah, yeah, and it's a lot of them out there. And one of the articles, suggests that you just really research that because it's very important to your business. Research different areas and avenues where you can get those fundings, for women specifically, and then even for first time business owners, African American women. There's so many different areas
Yeah.
that you can look for. Yeah, so that's awesome. So now let's get to, because our time is almost up and I'm not going to hold you up, but let's get to these powerful women that you are connected to, that you so gently share these amazing women that you're connected to with your audience. But every year, you bring something to the Richmond, Virginia area. Well, you skipped out on us one year, but we forgive you.
Yes, we went to Orlando, Florida last year
We
for
forgive
our
you, though. We
luxury.
forgive you. I know
We're back. We're back.
yeah, that was probably
Oh,
really good for you too, I'm sure.
so
So,
powerful.
yes. And so I'm always excited. I love going to great events anyway, but I'm always excited to be in a room full of uh, powerful women who are not trying to overpower others.
Yeah.
It's very exciting to me because, just because you're powerful does not give you the right to demean others. And so I love when I can be in a room full of powerful women who are able to connect despite the levels and be more of a mentor, or more of a,
Mhm.
an encouragement and an inspiration to others, and not try to look down on others. Um, I had an opportunity also this summer to be with Hope Magazine, and I don't
Yeah.
see my girl Angie on here today, Angelia Stone. She hosted the Hope 25 event, which was amazing, and the room was filled with wonderful women, wonderful in the most of them from the Midwest, who were really just, as we are talking about today, women in business, just breaking these barriers. They're just doing great things. But right here in the East Coast, in Richmond, Virginia, we have such an amazing group of women that come together. And so I want you to tell us a little bit about your event that you host every year. You're such a great hostess as well.
Oh, thank you. And thank you for being one of our VIP guests this year and attending. And so it's called the Platform Builders Summit, formerly known as the Pop-Up Conference for those that may be familiar with that. But we've rebranded it. And really it is a 2-3 days, technically 3 days. The first day is dedicated to our VIP guest only. And then the second and third day are for all of our attendees. And we pull together speakers, content that we know will help you really amplify your brand. So shine a spotlight on your brand while also boosting your profits. And so if you are a current business owner, that's a woman, this is only open for women. If you are a growing or emerging women entrepreneur, and even if you're working full time and saying, I've got an idea, I've got something on the side, this is absolutely for you. And so we'll be in Richmond, Virginia at the 4 Points by Sheraton over near the airport. We have people flying in from Florida and New York and Georgia and different places that are coming on in. We're just about 51 days away. And it is absolutely an event that you want to stick on your calendar. Our VIPs are sold out. So the highest ticket price is already sold out. We have actually a waiting list for the VIPs saying if anyone cancels, if anyone says they can't come, stick me in.
It won't be me.
Right. I literally have a inbox on my phone before I jumped on with you saying if anyone cancels the VIP, I want to purchase it. But so for a 2 full day conference, you cannot beat the rate. But we have main stage speakers, we have breakout speakers, so you're able to customize your experience. Friday and Saturday from 2 to 4 in the afternoons. You get to pick which sessions you want to go to according to what you want to work on. We also have some professional development, some personal development things in here. And so you mentioned Sharice Jones. We'll be doing, she's Friday morning, fireside chat with me live on the stage. Mm-hmm. She is the creator of Sassy Jones, which is a multi-million-dollar brand. You can see them on HSN. They have a huge online presence. They have a retail store. Their flagship store is at Short Pump, and she's going to be sitting down and literally, as you mentioned, how she started with twin boys with a minivan and taking the twin boys with her up and down the East Coast doing vendor gigs. Wow. And doing her Facebook Lives, propping her phone up on diaper boxes, and now multi-million-dollar organization. So you're going to get to hear from her. Dr. Stephanie Wall, she was there last year. Listen, she did she not tear it up?
Yes, I love how she walked through the audience.
Yes,
I remember her.
Listen, she walked through the audience. We have Tremaine Wills. She's going to talk about 3 money myths and how you're going to bust them and break them down. Coach Shea is coming all the way from California. She's going to talk about She Leads, She Profits. We've got Yulika Kimber, MBA, CPA. She's one of our sponsors, and she's going to talk about doing business by the numbers. So we've got people talking about accounting and your HR and hiring your first person or your first contractor, or writing your book, or telling your story, or your website, Facebook ads, doing content creation with reels. I mean, it's just packed with what you need. And then we also, like I said, we have the professional development and personal development. We've got some leadership sessions, and we've got Edwinette Moses is going to be talking about, what's your next move? What's the next plan? If you're getting ready to retire, but still got a lot of life in you. So just jump over to platformbuildersummit.com. Platformbuildersummit.com has all the information. You can register, grab your ticket, your general registration ticket. You're still a rock star, and get that scheduled, and plan to be with us in Richmond Friday, November 3rd and Saturday, November 4th.
And listen, like she said, just if you miss the VIP, it's still well worth it. I
Oh,
missed
yeah.
the VIP a couple of I was VIP once before, but
Yes.
most of the time I missed it. It was like sold out as soon as she announced it.
Yeah.
So, but it still was well worth it, and it's
Oh, yeah.
such an exciting time and relaxing as well. You're able to
Yeah.
sit and listen, but then have some fun. You didn't talk about DJ. What's her name?
Oh
She'll be
yeah, we
there.
had DJ Shanghai, DJ. Listen, Cookie, one of my past clients, one of our vendors, one of our
Mhm.
VIPs. She's gonna be there with
Yeah.
all of her E Morel boutique. We have backed by popular demand, DJ Shanghai, and
Hmm.
keeps the energy high, keeps
Right.
the dance floor in between your seats open, and so it's such a great time during November where you're kind of like taking out the year but
Mhm.
getting ready for the new year. And I know there's a lot of Gwen, I know there's a lot of virtual conferences and a lot of virtual things people
Mhm.
can attend and have that option. But I encourage you, like there is nothing like getting in the room and being in the room with other women going in the same direction, which kind of addresses that network and that support, that we were talking about in the Forbes article
Mhm.
of that, or that lack of feeling like I have support. Get in rooms where there is built-in support for you. Get in
Mhm.
those rooms, and so
Mhm.
yeah.
Right. So we're really out of time, but we wanted to just talk about one quick thing. So I just want to ask you quickly about age. We didn't talk about that age barrier.
Yes.
So let's just really quickly tell us, what do you feel? I'm 63.
And you don't look at all.
Yeah. But and there's other people out there I know that's my age that's really doing it. But what do you feel about someone in, the 60s and the 50s, thinking about getting started, even if they haven't started, or trying to get to the next level, as opposed to someone who's younger? What are the benefits and, risk, and or what do you think about it?
Yeah. So here's the interesting thing for, 50 plus, 60 plus, in the traditional corporate workspace, they may definitely, there is some people report age disparity and age discrimination, and all of that, because people feel like they want younger or whatever. But in
Right.
the small business space, I think that, and I know that 55, 60 plus has a prime opportunity to look at all of the skills that they've garnered and gained all through the years, and those are
Mhm.
transferable into their business. So it may be a barrier in corporate America that as you get older, you may feel like, well, gosh, I'm feeling some age
Mhm.
barrier.
Mhm.
However, that might not be what you experience as a business owner, because all of what you're bringing to the table, day one of you starting your business, all of that history comes with you. All of
That's
that
right.
transferable skill set comes with you. And
Mhm.
so it actually can be a benefit if your mindset is that way. One of my
There you
clients, that's the mindset. One of my clients, Dr. Valerie Harris, she'll be speaking at
Mhm.
the conference and hosting a panel, just turned 70. Shout
Wow.
out to them. Just turned 70. Listen, I told her to do an 8-part Facebook Live series like last year. She's on like 150. She might be at like, it's something crazy, 150 live streams.
Wow.
She's producing her second book collaboration with a second set of, listen,
Mhm.
no grass is growing under Val's feet. And
Yeah.
so and she's 70. So you'll hear her and hear her story,
Mhm.
there. So there's that. Now, if we flip the script and think about age, if there is a barrier for younger people, and so younger people, what's interesting, and wherever you fall with that, younger people, the benefit is that like they have no fear. They're like, I could just jump out and try it. Like I
Right.
don't have all of the stuff, maybe like mortgages and kids going to college. They might not
Mhm.
have all of the stuff that's weighing them down, and they can just jump out and just try. And like, let me just try it. If it doesn't work, I'll go get a job. And so younger people have a little, almost kind of like this fearlessness about them in this space of entrepreneurship. So if you're younger listening and saying, well, do I need to wait? No, like jump out now, learn from mistakes, figure out what's going on, and where you can plug in, and then you'll be much further along. So, and sometimes for younger people, people feel like, well, they don't have a lot of experience, but now time is accelerated. Like younger people can learn, their aptitude is quick, the technology, because they've grown up with technology. Stuff that is someone that's a little bit older saying, I need to go to, a library to find out. Somebody that's younger is like, okay, I know how to use ChatGPT, AI tools, research, and they have it. And so there are definitely pros on both sides, and age doesn't have to be a barrier if you're younger or you're older.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Yeah. So don't wait. Get on out there and do your thing, and don't feel like you have to stop. You don't have to stop.
Absolutely.
Like I said, this year has been kind of amazing for me. And it was like a reboot.
Yeah.
Because I was ready to stop. I was like, look, I ain't doing nothing else. And
So much
I
more
was
life in you, so much
it,
more in you. So you
and
can't
just
do that.
doing things actually gave me more life. Doing things gave me more life. And I was like, even thinking, am I ready to get back on the planes and do this and do that? And then I just got this burst of energy from somewhere.
And
So
here
I'm
you
excited
are.
about it. And even in my natural career, as a nurse, the same, it kind of trickled over, and
Yeah.
I was able to even go and do more than I thought I could do. And I was laughing with my manager the other day because, uh, and I don't care that this is public, but the doctor that I'm working with, she said she wanted somebody younger. And thank God for
Uh,
the names, because she thinks I'm younger than the person that she didn't want, but I'm really not. I just got good genes.
Look at
And
that.
yeah, and so age is not the factor. Like you said earlier, one of the biggest factors is mindset. And when
Yes.
you put your mind to doing what you want to do or what you need to do, you'll be able to do that. So,
Yeah.
listen, I'm so excited that you have joined us. I'm going to ask you this question. It's kind of a duh question, but how can our audience reach you? Because I think it's right there. But how can our audience reach you?
Yeah, so easy way is my name, sharvettemitchell.com. That'll take you to my main website for Mitchell Productions. And from there, you can click in and go find out about the Platform Builders Summit and find out about our services and radio shows and books and all of that. So sharvettemitchell.com is one of the best ways. You can Google Sharvette and you'll find me.
And tell us, you also have your live shows and your radio show. Tell us a little bit about that real quick.
Yeah, we are on episode 710. So you heard
Woo!
that correctly. 710. Tomorrow we're on every Tuesday. We live stream, multi-stream, and then the audio goes into the podcast and talk radio show platforms. And so it has really been a vehicle that has pulled me. I have not had to push it. And we feature women primarily. A few lucky men might get sprinkled in. But we feature women in topics mostly related to business or professional women. And so we are excited for those that are, checking us out for that. And so that's sharvette.com, very simply. And so I love that. Thank you for bringing that up.
Awesome. Aisha, no,
Yeah,
honey,
that's
not
so
time to
deep.
start. Aisha, you got to get going, girl. It's about mindset. You are too young. You got so much life ahead of you. So I'm glad that you joined us today. Thank you so much.
And
Thank you
let me
so
say to
much.
Aisha,
Yeah.
oh my goodness, blogging and kind of like that influencer, what we call influencer, she was doing it back years ago. So
Mm-hmm.
Aisha, and you and video shows. So yeah, Aisha, we wanna see you back We want to see you back, girl. And she embraces the gap tooth diva. That is her tagline. But yeah,
There
she
you
was.
go.
So yes, we want to see you back. So hopefully you're encouraged to
Yeah.
jump back in the game.
Yes. Next, just think next level. Think next level. You've already completed maybe the level that you're at, but there is a next level. So I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to hearing from you. Thank you so much for joining. I didn't even see the gap tooth. Yeah, girl, come on with me.
Gap tooth diva.
Yes. So thank you once again for joining me. I look forward to meeting you. We'll see each other before then, but I can't wait to see you on November 2nd, 3rd, and the 4th at the Platform Builders Summit. So all of you that are interested, jump on over to platformbuildersummit.com.
Summit.com. Yep. Platformbuildersummit.com.
platformbuildersummit.com. Get your tickets today. Don't wait, because I tell you, every time she talks about it, the tickets just go. So get your tickets today. All
Yeah.
right. Well, I appreciate you, and we will see you next time. Thank you once again. All
Thank
right. Bye
you.
bye. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I gotta fix my little banner here. I moved before I fixed that, but so listen, I'm excited once again for this day. I like we were just saying to Aisha, I kept saying to myself, I'm just not gonna even probably come back and do the show anymore, but there is so much more that is ahead of us, and so much more. So many people out here that I love featuring and I love sharing with. And I have some amazing guests that I'm already lining up to join me on the show the rest of this month and next month. I promise you, you don't want to miss it. We're going to continue this conversation in various different areas of women in business and ministry. And so they're coming on. I've got real estate coming, and I've got fashion coming. I've got ministry coming. I've got so many different sectors that are coming, and I want to make sure that you are there to be a part of the conversation. Now, once again, if you like to be a part, feel free to go to my website, gwenfinley.org. That's GWEN. It's right up on the top, www.gwenfinley.org. And you can let me know there that you are interested in being a part of my show. I look forward to seeing you on next Monday. Have a wonderful evening. And remember, you can do it.